I'm still working inside that same numbers and bullets.indd file that I opened in the previous exercise, wherein we changed the numbering of the first paragraph on the left-hand page to begin at number 9, and we changed the lower paragraph on the right-hand page to reset to number 1. So that's good. That's the way we want it. But we still have some problems with these numbers. First of all, they aren't styled properly. And then secondly, they don't align properly. If I went ahead and dragged out a vertical guide here from the left-hand ruler, and let's say I'll drop it roughly at this point here, you can see that the 10 aligns quite nicely. Actually, we have enough room for that double-digit number right there. But when I have a single-digit number, it ends up aligning left. It needs to align right, so all of the single digits are in a row with each other, and then when we add a double digit, it goes left, which is the way you actually align a numbered list. That's the way you're supposed to do it, so what we've got here is wrong. So here's how it's going to flesh out. In this exercise, I'm going to show you how to assign a character style to the numbers. In the next exercise, I'm going to show you how to set up an elaborate system of guides. It's going to seem elaborate, it's just due diligence, essentially, so that we can get a sense of how our numbers should align. And then in the exercise after that, we're going to actually apply the alignment. Now, the reason we're working so slowly and deliberately is because this is a bizarre feature. It's just strangely implemented. I don't actually like the way it's implemented, but it does work once you understand it. So I'm going to undo the addition of that guideline. And let's set about making sure that the numbers are styled properly. I'm going to bring up the character styles palette so that we can see that we do indeed have a style called step number that should be applied to the numbers. Now, I can't apply it manually. If I were to zoom in on the number and I were to switch to the type tool by pressing the T key, and no matter how hard I try to select that number, it's not there. It's a ghost. It's ephemeral. It's something that InDesign is in charge of. So if I want to style that number, I have to edit the larger step style sheet, and I have to essentially nest yet another character style into it, this time one that I'm applying not using the nested function, but using the automatic numbering function instead. So let's press Control-Shift-A, Command-Shift-A on a Mac in order to deselect our text and other objects. I'm going to switch over to the Paragraph Styles palette, double-click on the step style, move the dialog box over a little bit so we can see the number changing on screen. If indeed I have the preview checkbox turned on, which I do. I'll switch down here to bullets and numbering. There's my guy right there, character style. This is yet another form of nested character styles inside of InDesign. Let's go ahead and switch that character style to step number right there. Immediately you'll see the number change. It's still not aligned properly. And you do align numbers using this strange set of alignment functions down here. They look like they're easy enough to use, but they're not. You'll see. Go ahead and click OK for now in order to accept your modification. At this point, you may wonder, all right, that worked beautifully. My number is now styled exactly as I want it to be styled. But if I move down here, yes, that number is styled correctly too. All the numbers are styled properly. Why did the bullets remain the way they want to remain? I don't want to style them with that step number style, but why didn't they get styled with that step number style, given that step bullet is subservient to step, right? It's the child and step is the parent. Of course, I have children. They're not always subservient, but you get the idea. I'm going to go ahead and double click on step bullet so we can get to the root of this issue. Notice that it says that this style, step bullet, is based on step styles. What the heck's that step styles item? Well, that's telling us that step, this guy right there, appears inside of the step styles group. Sure enough, it does. They both do. They're both inside that group. Okay, so fine. So it is the style that we're thinking of. So let's go down here to bullets and numbering. Notice we did not assign the character style to the bullets. That would have been a bad thing, but why didn't it happen? Well, because I had changed list type from numbers to bullets. That one change basically ruled out this entire panel of options from consideration. So this entire panel is now operating independently inside step bullet from the modifications that I applied to this step style. As I say, that's a good thing, but just something I wanted you to be aware of. In the next exercise, we are going to begin to take care of the alignment problems associated with these numbers by setting up an elaborate system of guides. You will see how useful this can be, and I think, honestly, you'll learn a trick or two along the way.